All right, this is Unit 3, and this whole unit is about equation solving. So we're going to do some equations, some absolute value equations, and some applications. So this is a 5-section unit. And so I believe we have a quiz. Yeah, after 3 sections we have a quiz, and then after the application sections, there are 2 of those, we're going to have a test. So you're going to have 2 assessments on this, one being in week 4 and one being in week 5. So a little bit longer. So this first particular lesson is just solving equations, and I don't know what your level of equation solving is. I know most of you probably hit pre-algebra, but I'm just going to start down at the beginning because I don't want to leave anybody behind. So I can explain what it means for an equation to have a solution, and I can solve multi-step equations. So we're going to start very, very simple, and we're going to finish with some real challenging problems. So, okay. So vocabulary, as we always have, we need to know what we're talking about. When you hear words, it's nice to know what they mean. Otherwise, you probably struggle. So an equation is just a mathematical statement. It's going to have an equal sign in it. That's why it's got almost has the word equal. It's got the word equa. It's just missing the L. It's got an equal sign in it. It indicates that 2 expressions, that would be the left and the right half, are the same. So, for example, we could just do something like this to be very general about an equation. The left side equals the right side. And so that's what an equation is. So an inverse operation is an opposite operation used to solve equations. So what's a pair of inverse operations? Well, the inverse of addition is subtraction. And multiplication's opposite is division. And squaring is the opposite of square rooting. Okay. So those are inverse operations. There's lots of inverse operations that you're going to learn about, but we're kind of starting small here, right? So isolate means to get a variable alone on one side of the equation. That's the goal of solving, to isolate, to get it by itself, to get rid of everything else except the variable. All the numbers have got to go. And then a solution is just the value that makes the 2 sides equal each other. So what number is it you can plug into the left side and the right side so you get the same number on both sides? That's what a solution is. Okay. So here's some basic 1-step equations. So the goal of solving equations is always to isolate the variable. Got to get x by itself. In this case, a or y or n or x. Okay, so if I think about splitting an equation with the equal sign, drawing a line down through there to make a left half and a right half, I see that on the left side I've got an a, but I've also got an 8. Well, 8 doesn't belong there, so I'm going to have to do something to get the 8 away from the a. Somehow break the connection between the a and the 8. Well, it's a plus sign, and the opposite operation for plus is minus, so I'm going to subtract 8 over here, and that's going to get rid of my 8. And so this side's good. I've just got a now. Problem is you can't do something to one side of the equation without doing it to the other side because it just loses balance. So if I'm going to subtract 8 from the left side, I need to subtract 8 from the right side. And so this says to me, I'm combining a -1 and a -8. And so it's the good guy, bad guy thing. If I got 1 good guy or 1 bad guy and 8 more bad guys, that makes 9 bad guys. So there's the solution. This is the number that I can plug in place of a to make the left side equal to the right side. Okay? If you just plug -9 in here, -9 plus 8 is -1. So that's my solution. So look at the next one. I've got a y on the left, and I got a -5 on the left. I got to get rid of that -5. So you're looking in front of it to think, what do I need to do? What's the opposite operation from the sign in front of the value I'm trying to move? You don't look at the one between the 2. Over here, the plus sign was between the a and the 8. And the reason I did a minus is because to the left of the 8 is a plus. To the left of the 5 is a minus. I need to add 5 to this. And I'll have just plain y. But I need to add 5 here as well. So I've got 8 bad guys and 5 good guys, and the bad guys are winning by 3. Okay? Try the next one. So hopefully you split the two sides like this. You've got a 4 on the right side with the n. We don't want the 4 there. If you look in front of it, it is positive, even though it's not written there. So the opposite of that is to subtract 4. And therefore I subtract 4 from the other side as well. -6, -4, that's 6 bad guys, 4 more bad guys. So that's 10 bad guys. Okay. This next one here is a little different. I'm splitting the two sides, but now what I've got is I've got an x with a 4 attached, and the attachment is multiplication. So the inverse for that, or the opposite for that, is division. So that gets rid of the 4, but I also need to divide this side by 4, and that's a negative, and then 24 divided by 4 is 6, so -6. You try the next one there. All right, hopefully you split that into 2 pieces, and you divide it by -6. A has a value of -2. Next problem, it looks like I've got an R on the right side and there's a 5 attached to it. And the attachment is division, so the opposite is to multiply. And these cancel. But I also multiply over here. So I get 40 equals R. All right, the next one, you give it a try, see how you do. All right, I'm going to split this into 2 halves. I've got an S divided by -6, so I'm going to multiply by -6. And the -6's cancel on this side. And then 8 times 6, positive times a negative is negative, and then 8 times 6 is 48. And this last one, fractions really just do 2 things. This is really -6 times u, and then it's divided by 5. So the opposite of multiplying by -6 is to divide by -6. And the opposite of dividing by 5 is multiplying by 5. Sorry, I got my problem ran into my explanation over here. So it's like I could rewrite this right side as -6 times u divided by 5. So I can get rid of the -6 by dividing by -6 and then multiplying by 5. So I've got to divide this side by -6 and then multiply it by 5. Okay, so 5 times, first of all, the negatives here cancel. 5 times 9 is 45, and 45 divided by 6, I think that's 7.5. Yeah, so this is going to be 7.5. So for a fraction, to get rid of a fraction like this, notice that this thing just flipped over. So I just multiplied by the reciprocal. The 5 went to the top and the -6 went to the bottom. So that's how you get rid of a fraction. Just multiply by its reciprocal. You flip it over and multiply. Okay? So let's move on to 2 steps. So I'm going to do the same thing I was doing. I'm going to separate this into two sides. And I've got to get rid of my -7 and the +30. They are both attached to the x. So what you need to do is always move things that are attached with addition and subtraction first, because what we're doing is we're solving an equation. We're reversing the order of operations. Okay, so we're going to do addition subtraction first because it's last in the order of operations. So is it the -7 or the 30 that's attached with addition? Well, between the x and the 30 is an addition sign. And so I've got to break that sign. I've got to break the 30 away. Well, it is a +30, so I'm going to subtract 30 to do that from both sides. I still have a -7x on the left. I got 58 good guys and 30 bad guys. That makes 28 good guys. And now the -7 is attached with multiplication. And to break multiplication, you divide. So I'm dividing these two by -7. So sine, a positive divided by a negative is negative, and then 28 divided by 7 is 4. So there's my solution. You want to try this next one? If you do, pause the video and see how you do. All right, I've got a -4 attached with multiplication, and I've got a 33 that is attached with addition and subtraction. Okay? So this minus sign becomes an addition or subtraction sign that connects the 33 to the rest of my problem. So I've got to get rid of the 33 first, but if you look to the left of it, the 33 is positive, so I subtract 33. Okay? Then my -4a is still there. That negative belongs to the 4, so it's no longer a minus sign now. It's a negative. 73 good, 33 bad. That's going to be 40 good guys. Now this is multiplication, like I said before. It's -4 times a, so I'm going to divide by -4. And those cancel, leave me with a. And positive divided by negative is negative. 40 divided by 4 is 10, so a is -10. Okay. My box got goofy. That's a little better. There we go. If you want, pause the video and try the next one. If not, just follow along. So my y has two values over here. I've got a y divided by, and you know what? That negative sign, I'm going to put it with the 3. With a fraction, if you've got like this, you can write that as -1/2, or you can write it as 1/-2. It doesn't really matter whether the numerator or the denominator gets the negative sign. You just need to make sure it goes with one of them. Well, when I've got a variable and a number and I want to solve for the variable, I'm not going to put it with the variable. I'm going to put it with the number. So I'm going to make this a -3 right here, like this. Y divided by -3. Okay? Then I got a +19. So the thing joined with addition and subtraction is the +19. So it's +19. So I subtract 19. And that's gone. And I have y divided by -3 still. 33 minus 20 would be 13, so 33 minus 19 would be 14. And then this division can be broken with multiplication, like this. So I'm going to multiply over here. So y equals 14, so positive times a negative is negative, and then 14 times 3 is 30, 42. I believe. Someone check me on that, but I think it's right. Yep. So that's two-step equations. Here, you try these 3. So try all 3, then start the video back up and see how you did. I'm going to start by adding 16. And then I'm going to multiply by 4. start by adding 6 because that's a minus sign to the right, the left, so I have to add that. Divide 3. On this one, I'm going to subtract 36 first. That's going to give me a whole bunch of bad guys in town. That's 70, 80. See, that's 8, 6 is 4. 5, 3, 84 bad guys. This is multiplication. I'm going to divide by -6. The negatives cancel, make it a positive, and then 84 divided by 6 is 14. Okay. Ugh, what an icky box that was. How'd you do? Did you get all 3 right? I hope so. It's still kind of icky. I just can't win. There we go. All right. So multi-steppers. What if you have more than just 2 steps like those were? We always want to distribute to remove parentheses first. Then on each side of the equation, you're going to combine any like terms, just like we did last unit. Okay, that's why we worked on that unit, so we can combine like terms in these more complicated equations. So you're going to combine with the given signs, whether it's a plus or a minus to the left, just like we've been talking about. Then you got to move the like terms to the same side of the equation. And to move things, to move entire terms, you just do the inverse. You if it's connected with addition, you subtract it. If it's connected with subtraction, you add it, just like we've been doing. So that's moving the terms to each side. And then once you have, the variable terms on one side and then the constant terms on the other side, you can worry about the coefficients that are with the variables. So like the 3 and the 3x, like dividing by 3. So that'd be the last step, right? Okay, let's see what that looks like. So it looks like there's no distribution, but I've got terms on opposite sides of the equal sign that belong together. Like the 4x and the 2x belong together. They should be on the same side, and the 7 shouldn't be over here with the 4x. So I'm going to choose to move the smaller of the two every time. That's going to be my strategy. So 4x or 2x, which one's smaller? Well, the smaller one is 2x, and it is a positive 2x. That's what, there's no sign in the front of it, right? Maybe that kind of, there we go. If there's no sign there, it's a plus. So I have to subtract 2x here and subtract 2x from its like term over there. So here they cancel, and here I just get 2x. And I still have a positive 7, and I still have an equal, and I still have a positive 5. Now the 7 and the 5 belong together. They're constants. They don't have a variable. So the plus 7 connected with addition gets subtracted. And so this guy's gone. And I still have a 2x over here. And positive 5 and negative 7 make negative 2. Now I'm down to that last step where I get rid of the coefficient with x. It's connected with multiplication. So I divide. And I get a negative 1. Okay, you good. You try the next one here. Pause the video. All right, I see a 12x and a 10x that belong together, but they're on the wrong sides. So I'm going to move the smaller one. That's the 10x. It is positive 10. So I subtract to get rid of it. And so I do the same thing on the other side to keep my equation balanced. 12 minus 10 is 2x. Bring down the plus 2. Bring down the plus 6. Okay. Now the 2 and the 6 go together. Not the 2x, but the 2 and the 6. And they're on opposite sides. So I have to move the 2 away from the 2x because it doesn't have an x term. It belongs on the right side with the 6. So plus 2 gets a minus 2. Okay, and I'm bringing down my 2x. Negative, let's see, 6 minus 2 is 4, and I've got to get rid of my coefficient there of 2. It's connected with multiplication, so I'll divide, and I'll get 2. Okay? Example 2. Well, this one's got some distribution. You see the parentheses? That always means distribution. So I'm just focused on this piece of the puzzle right now. I just need to distribute. So don't think about anything else. Nothing outside of that box is going to change. So 4 times y, so positive times positive is positive. 4 times, that's a 1, is 4. And then the variable is the y. Then positive 4 times negative 1. So positive times negative is negative. 4 times 1 is 4. And then nothing else changes. I just bring down the equals 12, right? Okay, that's an arrow. Pretend you know that's an arrow. Okay. So 4y minus 4 equals 12. This is now it's a 2-step equation. I got a 4 attached with multiplication. I got a 4 attached with subtraction. Which one do I do first? Well, it's always addition and subtraction to move like terms. You got to get this minus 4 to the other side with the 12 because it doesn't have a y. So I'm going to split the sides here. Opposite of minus 4 is plus 4 on both sides. Bring down the 4y, and that's 16. And then divide by 4, and divide by 4, and you get 4 as an answer. So, when we say that's a solution, what we mean then is if you plug 4 back in there for y, look what happens. 4 and then 4 minus 1 equals 12. Well, 4 minus 1 is 3. And 4 times 3 is 12. And so 4 is the number that makes each of these sides equal 12. So that's what it means to be the solution. Okay? I'm going to try this next one. Shut the video off. Give it a go. All right. Hopefully you did that. 3 times 4x is 12x. Positive times negative is negative. 3 times 8 is 24. And I'm just bringing down my equals 24. Okay? 2 sides of the equation. Got to get rid of this negative 24. So I'm doing the opposite. I just put 4 down there. What am I doing? There we go. Plus 24. Plus 24. Hey, those are the same. It doesn't matter. It's just coincidence. It doesn't change anything at all. 24 and 24 make 48. Break the connection here with division. And x is positive 4. Okay. Example 3. Oh, wow, we're getting really messy now. Don't be scared. Do you see any distribution? That's always the first step. Any parentheses, we're going to distribute. Well, here I see a set of parentheses. And so nothing outside that's going to change until I get this finished. So negative 2 times 5x. That's negative times a positive is negative. 2 times 5 is 10. The variable is an x. A negative times a positive is a negative. 2 times 2 is 4, and there's no variable. Everything else remains the same. Now this time, before I move anything, look at the left side. I have some things that are alike. These two are alike. These two are alike. I'm just going to combine them with the signs I see. I'm not going to do anything opposite because I'm not moving anything to the other side of the equation. I'm not getting rid of anything here. So I got a negative 10x and a positive 5x. Well, that's 10 bad guys, 5 good guys. Leaves me with 5 bad guys. Negative 4, positive 2. That's 4 bad guys, 2 good guys. That's 2 bad guys. Okay? Now I'm going to move like terms. Now I'm going to get rid of some things. So this negative 2 belongs over there with the 23. It doesn't have an x in it like the negative 5x. So I'm going to do the opposite. To get it to the opposite side of the equation, to get rid of it, we do the opposite. I didn't get rid of anything up here. I just combined what was there using the signs I saw. But now we're doing opposites. Bring down your negative 5x. This is 25. And you can divide by negative 5. And x equals negative 5. I know there's a large space in there, but it's okay. I was just trying to show you that things continue to move their way down. Okay, you want to try the next one? And stop the video, see if you get it. I see distribution. Positive and positive is positive. 4 times 3 is 12. The variable is x. Positive times positive is positive. 4 times 4 is 16. No variable. And then copy. Copy, copy, copy. Now look at the left side. What's alike? 12x and x. 16 and 5. So 12x plus x. Well, that's 12x plus 1x. So that would be 13x. Then 16 and 5 make 21. We didn't even need the good guy, bad guy on that because they were all positive, right? Equals negative 5. Just bring that down. I just copied this down each time, okay? So now I'm ready to eliminate some stuff. I got to get rid of that 21. It can't be there, so the opposite is minus 21. Now I'm just going to bring this down. Negative 5, negative 21. That's 5 bad guys, 21 more bad guys. That's negative 26 bad guys. And then break that multiplication with division. You got 1 negative is negative 2. Okay? These just look like more of the same, right? See if we can do them. Oh, I made a big mistake there. That's a positive 2 times that. Right? My box didn't make a nice rectangle. Here we go. So, I've got some distribution to do. So I'm going to keep this the same. Positive times a negative is negative. 2 times 9 is 18, and the variable is an x. Positive times a positive is a positive. 2 times 9 is 18, and there's no variable. This stuff just moved down. Okay? Here's the result of my distribution. Okay? Now then, look at what's the same on each side. Well, here's a 3x and a negative 18x. And here's a positive 18 and a negative 9. So nothing different over here on the left. The 3 just continues down. 3 good, 18 bad means 15 bad guys. 18 good, 9 bad means 9 good guys. Now I can eliminate stuff. I can move the 9 by subtracting 9. 3 good, 9 bad is 6 bad. And then divide to break my multiplication. So the negatives cancel, making a positive, and this, I'm just going to reduce this. What number goes into 6 and 15? I think 3 does. 3 goes into 6 twice, and 3 goes into 15 5 times, and I get 2/5 as my answer. Okay? If you divide it with a calculator, it just tells you 0.4. Could have done that as well. So either one of those answers is acceptable. I'd rather you leave it as a fraction. But you guys try this next one. Man, it's got 2 distributions in it. So negative 5 comes down. Negative times a negative is positive 30x. Negative positive is negative 9. 8 just comes down. Negative, negative, positive 6x. Negative times negative, positive 2. Combine like terms. Negative 5 and negative 9 is negative 14, and the positive 30x comes down. Eight and 2 make 10, and the positive 6x comes down. Now we're doing opposite sides. 6 is smaller than 30. Those two belong together, so I'm going to subtract 6x to get rid of that. Negative 14 comes down. 30 minus 6, 24. Now add 14, because it belongs with the 10. Didn't mean to write 10. I meant to write 14. That's 24. Oh, look at that. Divide by 24. X equals 1. Okay. Other ways to say solve, just so that you don't get confused by the instructions. I had a student who didn't understand length was the same as distance. He said, find the length instead of finding the distance. And so it would just say solve. It could say solve the equation for x. You could say find the value that makes the two sides equal. Find the value that makes the equation true. Find the missing value. Find the solution. So all those things mean the same thing. They just mean solve. Okay. So Delta Math, if you open that up, you'll see there's some skills there that I've asked you to do. I think 5 of each is kind of the standard. So do those.